Hey, Head Coach Tom Preston here, Full Circle Coaching Consulting. Thanks for taking time to join me today. I'm literally coming to you from nature, from Mother Nature, from the wilderness. One of the things that's authentic for me is to literally spend an enormous amount of time in nature. And what I want to present to you in this video is the possibility that you are connected to nature in a very profound way. And that by harnessing that connection, being aware of that connection and understanding that connection, it will actually help you grow your business and have a more rewarding, fulfilling life. So let's talk about the cycles of nature. One of the reasons I love Mother Nature is because she is so predictable, right? If you understand and invest the time to study the rules and laws of Mother Nature, you can understand that, there are 4 seasons, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, right? That, spring always follows winter. And that's a season of new growth and new possibilities and new shoots and things that actually sprout and grow, right? And summer follows that and fall follows that. It's not like, it's not unpredictable. It's not like sometimes fall follows winter. No, spring always follows. There's a predictability and a cycle to that. Another one of the harsh realities of Mother Nature is that she has rules around survival of the fittest. And, certainly from a Walt Disney Bambi standpoint, it's hard to watch at times, but there is rules and laws in the food chain that says that if you are lower down on the food chain, that there is a predator that would like to make you part of their meal plan, right? And there's rules and laws around that. It's predictable behavior relative to, whether a squirrel's gathering nuts, which again, in my opinion, nuts are a part of Mother Nature, or whether it's a marten that's coming to hunt and catch a squirrel for breakfast, or whether it's a wolf that's hunting a marten or a lynx, or, all of these different cycles are part of a predictable series of rules and laws in nature. And that when you understand these rules and laws, you understand that things are predictable. And it allows me as an outdoorsman to plan and make appropriate planning processes to ensure that I live by those rules and laws in Mother Nature. Okay? I can tell you that another one is the water, H2O. There's very predictable things around how water responds at different temperatures. And I want to go show you one. So again, relative to rules and laws of nature, H2O, water, which makes up a huge percentage of our planet, is also quite predictable. I mean, look at this, what's happening here, okay? You could probably maybe slightly hear or at least see the drips coming off the eaves. That's because as of this shooting, it's March. Wind's up a little bit, but it's mild enough, just above freezing, that the eaves are dripping, the snow is melting. And so look at what's happening here to the covalent bonds of water. They're just hanging on, and yet it's understandable that the reason the eaves are dripping is because we're above zero. It's a predictable rule and law. And when I leave today on my snowmobile to go back to my truck to drive back to my residence, I've been watching the weather and being aware of my surroundings enough to realize that I need to be mindful of, is it thawing? Is it raining? Are the trails, is the snowmobile going to want to sink through the snow because it's been so warm? The time of day we leave is predictable based upon rules and laws of nature, right? So again, I know another rule of nature is that snow is going to come off of there pretty soon and it's going to fall on the ground, just like that big pile there has, come in over time. So what has this got to do with you, and how does this affect your business and your life? Well, let me talk to you about understanding rules and laws of nature. So again, let's review. You are a part of nature. There are rules, there are guidelines, there are predictable outcomes and consequences to anything in nature, as I just pointed out, whether it's seasons or water and how it acts at freezing and different temperatures. I can also tell you that you are predictable in terms of your actions relative to understanding and knowing yourself, recognizing that you're a part of nature, and recognizing that at your core, if you can get in touch with the core of who you are, the fabric of the most natural, or what we call most authentic part of who you are, then you've got access to understanding understanding rules and laws about how you act, about how you move forwards. And when you understand that, particularly as represented by your core values, you can then become predictable relative to your thought patterns, relative to your behavior patterns, relative to the things that you commit to and actually follow through on. And don't get lost in circumstances, don't get lost in procrastination, and don't basically, screw the pooch and end up not fulfilling on that, right? So because I know myself better than I know you, I can tell you for me that my highest value currently as of this recording is optimal human performance or optimal human expression, followed by connected family and then financial legacy. So if you were to look at my behaviors, right, if there's something that is focused on exploring human potential and exploring the edges of something, like I watch TSN in the morning to watch some highlights of sporting events because I see athletes performing at the absolute peak, and I see just the peak of performance, optimal human performance that came out of the day before, as whatever the broadcast was, right? I can tell you that my coach consulting company, which is really focused on exploring people's fullest potential, it's predictable when you look at my behavior around creating content, around shooting videos like this, around, transforming my team and inspiring my team and training my team, all have to do with exploring human potential. Doesn't have to do with making widgets or gadgets or putting a bolt in at a line at a GM factory. It's about exploring human potential. If I was to make a goal or a project or a thing that I was working towards that wasn't connected to that value or wasn't connected to connected family as a value or financial legacy, so my grandson's grandchildren can have the potential to live a meaningful life financially speaking, then you know that that's a predictable outcome. That's a predictable behavior on me based upon me knowing myself at that core level. So if you want to expand your business, you want to lead a more fulfilling, rewarding life, then this is definitely one way to do it, is to get in touch with nature. Probably can see my snowmobile I'm on the way out of soon, and understand yourself at that core, sort of more natural, authentic level, and it can make all the difference in the world. This is Dr. Tom signing off, inspiring you to become more of who you're capable of becoming at your most authentic, natural level, so you can do the things that you were loved into existence to do, and then you can have all of the things that your heart wants you to have.